Hello, it's BTU, and today is going to be what I would label a drama stream. So if you don't want to be around for the drama, just click out. I totally understand. I don't want to be here for it either, but it happens. Tomorrow's my birthday, so I kind of wanted to do this before then and just get it off the table. I could not play around with what these people were doing over Easter weekend. I personally value that weekend higher than talking about drama. So that was not going to be something that was going to be talked about or thought about or done. Well, other, you know, anyway, it was a holiday. It was a religious holiday, and I'm going to leave it at that. I understand there's people who are not religious, and I'm okay with that too. So, but stick around or don't. Today is not your day. I totally understand. I don't want to be here either. I want to be doing my content. As you know, when I came back and did my This Is What Happened to Me, where I've been, and I tried to clear the air and start over, and I did. And thank you for all watching my Ryan Upchurch content and moving on with me. But there are people who just will not allow me to move on. So I'm going to address it. I'm going to try to handle it the best way I can. I'm highly agitated. I'm not going to lie. And it might be choppy because I'm going to do the record thing so that I'm not interrupted, so I can try to get some coherent thought out. Good luck to you. um, but so it may, I'm going to, normally when I do something, I do it live. I do it as one record. I don't edit it. Well, I did some edited content for the Ryan of Church stuff. I'm talking about when I'm in my feelings, what I'm trying to discuss about me or what I've been through. That I try not to edit, or it's just how it is. But I'm not going to say I'm not going to hit the edit button or the pause button and gather my thoughts and maybe put out another thought. But because there's so many different layers here, and I just kind of want to do it all at once. I was going to do it in different things, but I'm not going to bore y'all with multiple videos of what different crap people are doing on here. So let me readdress. I came out and I told you that I'm going to call it abused. It was tortured. It was antagonized. It was made fearful. All these things for a very long time, for a year and a half. I put that to bed. I thought, well, the next day, of course, there was tags on me. So now I'm getting these. I keep getting these little jabs about, oh, people get tagged and they lose their ever loving mind. No, I haven't lost my ever loving mind. You can keep trying. You, particular, the ever loving mind person. But here's the thing. That person inflicted so much damage to me that I am still willing to take it to court. I don't know who this person is. They're anonymous. So stop with the bull. It's not that easy, but they need to stop. My name don't even need to come out of their mouth. They are my abuser. They abused me for a year and a half. And anyone who is I'm going to label it cohorts, no, what was that other word someone used? I can't remember the word. What was that word? Accessories? Accessories, maybe? No. Yeah. So if you want to keep on, this is abuse by proxy for that person. But just the more that person leaves me alone and the more distance I get between the situation, the better I feel about just walking away. But the more it keeps coming back to me, I'm like, nope, I still got those reports. I still got all the evidence. I still have all the tax returns that I've lost so much money on for a year. I have it. So the more distance I get, the more I'm like, oh, it's just keep going forward, keep chugging along, keep going. But the more you keep pulling me backward, I'm like, no, it's still there and I'm good for it. I am ready to go. As soon as I find out who you are. So maybe let's, not mention my name. I don't care if it's even for a good cause. Do not mention my name. You are my abuser. You abused me. So either accept that or move on. I did. Oh wait. So that's another thing. Y'all get my anxiety up. You make me go backward. I was forward. I was forward thinking, forward moving, all going forward. But I can't when you keep dragging me back. So I did the pause, but I don't. You can't rewind and go backwards. So I don't know what it was I was at. Yeah, it doesn't allow you to replay what you just said and like pick up where you left off. So yeah, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, please keep my name out of your mouth. Not please. No, this is a demand. You can say you don't watch my content. Oh, the apology. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The apology. I got an apology from someone who the person I did the video on for a year and a half. I got an apology that said, "I am genuinely sorry to you, my name. I am genuinely sorry if I made you feel unsafe." That's not a fucking apology. Get out of here. Get out of here. That is not an apology for what you did to me. That is, if you feel a certain way, I'm sorry you feel that way. And that's what that is. And that's all that's going to be. So, again, we can end this 100 by taking it to court, or we can end this by you getting your act together and moving on and not naming me, not tagging me. And it's not, I have friends that can tag me till the cows come home. I have what would you call associates, because I'm in different places. If y'all haven't noticed, with the recovery community, with up church community, I am in different places. So if my people where I go and we have things in common and we talk to each other and stuff, if they want to tag me, that's fine, but my abuser can no longer tag me. That's a given. That is should be just a signed, sealed, delivered, not even going to do it anymore. But if I have to take you to court to do it, I will do it, because I'm not going to keep living this over and over and over what you've done. I'm not going to do it. And your abusers by proxy are not going to do it to me either. Leave my name out of your mouth. If it's something that's just a normal conversation, fine. I not her, the proxies. But so I'm not like losing my ever loving mind over a tag. Okay, so let's get that straight. That when she does it, ever loving mind has been lost. Got it. Okay, so we got that out of the way. And then yesterday, well, it's been a few minutes, and I'll be honest, I have not watched the entire thing. I've been clawing my way out, working to recoup my finances in the real world of what I've lost. I have lost. I'm saving that for court. What I've lost and what financial burdens this has put on my family and on me in particular, just me alone. What you've done to me financially. So I have been working, and my hands are dirty, and I'm clawing at the mud, and I am climbing out of the pits of hell that you put me in. So I've been too busy to like even some of these streams that go late at night. So Terry Lynn and Curls, apparently they did a live. It sounded normal to me. I don't know. The parts I did hear, and no, if things are said about me, I'm going to, and someone says, "Oh, you were mentioned in this," or whatever, I go listen to that and hear it with my own ears, what was said. I'm not going to say, "Oh, I heard, I didn't watch," unless I did or didn't watch. So I didn't watch all of Terry's stream with Curls because it was late at night and I had to go to sleep to get up early in the morning to go to work. Okay. So what I do know now is that, people don't like what she talked about. She's a subscriber. She talked about it from her point of view. There's going to be like multifacets to this situation because so many people are involved in it, and it goes back over the years, and I'm trying to make it make sense to myself. But so I guess there was a live yesterday wherein JJ, I'm just going to name names. JJ said something to the Preface this with, there was a lot of people brought up in that live that like should not have been brought up, that I can so I had not listened to the whole thing, but I did the control F search, and the names that are popping up with Jughead, Sarah, um sorry, gotta get my pup, Dina. Why are y'all talking about these people who are offline or either moved on with their mental health being so messed up that they need help? Why do you keep doing this to people? Even if you're, you know, I just don't get it. Okay, so one of the names brought up was about Dina, and Dina's kids being in a Discord, talked about in a Discord, and pictures in a Discord. And JJ and I had this out, and I had to go back and look through screenshots and different things. And it was September 11th, 2023. And I told her then, it's not in there. It didn't happen. And I can say that with my whole chest. I was in Tira's Discord. So were a lot of other people. That Are you mean to tell me they're just sitting back right now and not saying I was not in a Discord where that kids were talked about? Like, nope, 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 because they're in your chats at times. So, and I have their names. But I'm calling them out for what? Because it didn't happen. It did not happen. Now, let's move forward that there may have been another chat Discord situation that was gathered. I was not in it. Let me be very clear. I was not in it, but I know all about it. And I'll get to how that comes about, because this has just got to be put to bed and put to rest. So, somebody was making a Bobby Cat is Dina video, and they created a space in order to share screenshots, I guess, where they looked at the stuff you saw in that video, like where they pulled up art, would it be websites, Facebooks, I don't, other outside of YouTube information was all gathered and put into that Discord and that chat in order to put together that poorly put together video, I might add, of Dina is Bobby Cat. Because I mean, we all could go like, that don't really match up, right? Like, anyway, so that is where I believe you're going to find that somebody may have talked about Dina's kids or posted pictures of Dina's kids in that Discord. That doesn't belong to Tira. Had nothing to do with Tira ever, ever, ever. Your hatred for Tira is unbelievable, of what you will put into the universe that woman has done or said, or things that she's condoned, or what's went on in her view and allowed. And I know Tira has done some stuff. I am not done, taken away from that. But that brings me back to, let's not talk about Jughead, because she's mentally ill, and she's what are the words y'all used about her? Oh my gosh, it was so Jugs. Let's see if I can get it that way. She's mentioned 27 times in that. Let's see. She's not been here since January. So you and Jugs are the Antichrist. The name Jugs, I mean, when it was disgusting how before it was like blacklisted. Okay, Jugs. Somewhere in here you said something to the effect. Oh, here it is. The assumptions that I think someone, JJ, said it earlier, like Jugs is a vulnerable adult. I think that's a really polite way to put it. I could take it further, but I don't want to disrespect Jugs because I love her. So I will leave it at that. And I feel like other people should see that as well. But even still, she's owned her ish, and she was like physically going to people, like purposefully reaching out to confess and apologize. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. Okay, but anyway, so back to the vulnerable adult. And why is y'all talk about mental health and protect Jugs and Sarah's and all the things, but yet Tira's obviously has mental health issues, obviously, and she talks about them freely. But you have no problem taking everything she says or does and then taking stuff she didn't do and piling that on top of her too. Make it make sense to me. I am not defending anybody in here except for me, but make it make sense to me how one person's, mental health is, you got to leave them alone. But then on the other hand, you're going to terrorize somebody for years. So make it make sense. And maybe, I don't know. Maybe she might stop. Maybe she won't. I don't know. But that's her mental health. And oh, we're not going to do that. Okay, whatever. Moving on to Sarah. Now let's see. How am I going to bring Sarah back into this without? Because it's more drawn out. So recently, I don't know if I hope, because it hasn't happened. So I hope. But if Tira and if Chicago and I have issues, that they're not made to be YouTube content. That's what I hope. But anyway, and I know they won't by me, because it's just like, what's the point in that's a true friend, like the other ones is like acquaintances. And I really thought that I had made a friend here on YouTube, sort of like, not a friend like in real life. I don't want to be parasocial and like that, but like so if you remember back to the Sarah situation, me and Melissa were like the ones that Sarah, I want to say, chose to convey what she was feeling and thinking. And it was kind of at times a lot to handle. It was very stressful. It was a lot. But I handled what she told me, gave me everything with the strictest confidence. And I stood up for myself and for Melissa, because in that, it was kind of like this bond. I don't want to say friendship. There was a bond created, because there was no friendship. I don't mean it like that. So there was a bond, I thought, in this solidarity of protecting Sarah and also trying to help Sarah through that situation. And it was the three of us, I thought, So with that, I have stood up and said, no, I have never shared Sarah's pictures, any of the information I had on Sarah, her children, and Melissa didn't either. I can't speak for Melissa any longer. I can't stand up for Melissa. I can't say what intentions Melissa has, how what good character she has. I can't. I cannot stand or vouch for Melissa's character anymore. And I don't know many people that can. So how that come about, and to this makes me question, because I've been attacked and accused of, you gave Sarah's pictures to Kirsta, you gave Sarah's information to Kirsta to get that. I did not. um Everything in me, I didn't share anything of Sarah's. Did not, will not, still have it, will not. um But I can't say that somebody else didn't. I can't. There's no way I can stand 10 toes down and say that the other party to that didn't do something. But I was accused of it mostly by Jughead, that you're the only one that had it. No, I was not. Obviously, I just told you I was not the only one who had it. So if that scenario played out, use your deductive reasoning here that I did not, and I will stand my right hand raised right now. I have a Bible over here if I need to. I did not, and I will not. So you figure that one out, because I'm still trying to figure it out. Because once you lose trust in someone, that just goes totally out the window, and things you thought people would never do when they do something else that you thought they would never do kind of makes you go, well, did they? So anyway, that's where that's at. So let's see, how do we get to that? Okay, so let me try to make sense of this for you. Ann and Abby were friends. I was not in, I'm not gonna say I wasn't in the picture of YouTube at the time, but I wasn't in their picture of YouTube at the time. So I don't know a lot of the details of that time period. I just don't, and I'm not going to pretend to. Um, I do know from both of them that there were things going on in their lives that were stressors into their friendship. I'm not saying, and I guess it transferred over to YouTube. I mean, I don't see. Here's what I don't know. I don't know what the allegations were, or what. How do I put this? So my understanding, this is mine. Hello, this is mine. Me, only me talking right here. My understanding is that CPS was called on Abby at some point, and I've never had that happen to me, but I can only imagine that would freak me out. I mean, it just would. I don't know. I don't know how else to relay that would be a horrible situation. Just the thought of it, like, especially when you don't have any reason to, it would just be like the worst. So with that, and I don't want to really get into the gist of how I'm going to see if I can find, well, I hope they deleted it, honestly. It, I don't know. So there was this between the two of them, they had separate friends, I guess. So I don't even know. Okay. So the not so evil stepmother was involved. Jenny Lee was involved. Marissa, Abby, Ann. And if I'm missing anyone, I do apologize because I was not involved. So I'm just trying to clarify it happened. But my understanding is that Abby didn't talk about it, that some of her friends came out and talked in her defense, if you will. And may or may not have alluded to Ann being the one who called. Then it was Ann's supporter called. Then it was a supporter of Ann and Abby, because they do share subscribers together and people who support them together. I don't know. I don't have a clue. All I know is fast forward to 8 months. Let's see. October, November, December, January, February, March, April. 6 months ago. 6 months ago, we had a group chat. The origins of that group chat were not to talk about Abby or any of these other people. It just wasn't. So in there was a whole conversation. So Tira was having issues with Tracy, and Jenny Lee was brought back up again from those times, and people were having issues with her and talking about doing deep dives or videos on her. And it was kind of like that old issue came forward, but yet again, it was what these people have done over time and were talked about currently. Because y'all know what Marissa and Jenny Lee had done a recording and was released of Jenny Lee saying some stuff. And anyway, so it came back around, I guess, if you will, is what I'm trying to say. So somebody, Melissa, again, we're just gonna do names, right? So Melissa in our group chat. Oh, okay, that's how I want to. Sorry, our group chat. So if you listen to Abby's video, and she reached out to a lady in the group chat. I was the lady She reached out to me. Hello. I'll raise my hand, put my name out there to the universe. She reached out to me and she said, "Is Ann talking crap on me in the group chat?" And I said no. And I stand on no. It's hard to go back in those messages, but I did. I sure did. I'm having trouble. Like, you have to have keywords, and then you can get that time period of that keyword and go a little bit before and a little bit after. And I keep having to come up with new keywords to get that date. Like, I want the before. So that's why I'm telling you, we were talking about what was coming out about the incident with Jenny Lee and Marissa, and Kira was having trouble with Tracy and her friends, and Anne said some things that I will not take away from Abby feeling that Anne was disrespecting her or bringing up old stuff or whatever. But what she's missing is that it was like part of a conversation. It was not just like Anne out of the blue said something to cause issues or to bring back the old drama. It was just it was brought up, and she said, "I understand how Tira feels when you have a friend, you think they're a friend." And she said some things that would hurt Abby's feelings. If you're Abby, right? I mean, this is all perspective, and if it's about you, it's going to hurt a little deeper than if you hear it from someone else. I did not take that as Anne talking crap on Abby, and I stand on that to this day. And I've told Abby this, and I have no ill feelings towards Abby. I have no, but however, she did in that video said something about the women are gonna just accept that she said these things and not say anything to defend her. And that's kind of like taking a little diss stab at me, again, I didn't nothing Anne said made me have a negative opinion of Abby. Plain as day, it did not. If it happened and she made this come off as Anne played any part in the CPS story and has not verbally, as much as Jenny Lee, and I think Marissa did a video. The videos that were made in her honor at the time and mentioned these things about Anne, if they have not cleared her to the degree that she was accused, I'd be upset too. Just like this thing with Sarah. I know I didn't share Sarah's information. So anyone who says I did or alludes to I might have, it's a hurtful feeling until somebody says, no, that's not where it came from. She did not share any of her, it's kind of like still going to be this open issue, right? So anyway, nobody stood by and just sat around and talked shit to Abby. I did ask Abby about the video, the 8-minute video. I did hear the video. Again, I 100% stand with Abby that if I was Abby and I heard anyone talk about me in any shape or form, I would feel a certain way, and I'm not going to take that from her. No way, no how. She is validated to feel how she feels about what she heard about herself. However, we're all going to take what we hear about ourselves, just like Abby saying, I talked to that lady and that lady said no, and I'm still saying no. I'm still saying no. April 23rd, 2025, I'm still saying no. So within that video, I went back and I'm trying still like to go further and more, but that video she received has been clipped, has been piecemealed together. It's intact. What she has did happen. That's what I'm trying to say. It didn't happen in the full picture is not there. It stops and starts again. The person who recorded it, Melissa recorded a group chat and gave it to Steph, and Steph gave it to Abby, and Abby and Marissa talked about it. And like, how is that not any different than what you're saying happened to you? That like y'all are talking about Anne and y'all are making this, thing about Anne, but yet you're missing the point that what Anne may have said is being out of context, and what you're talking about and behind the scenes is kind of the same thing, probably even worse, to be honest with you, because it's about this, like, you're already heightened subject. And somehow, you know your accomplices are different than our accomplices. No ma'am, no how, no way, no. um Melissa is typing in the chat box as it's being recorded. So that was intentional, 100% intentional, to record and be typing at the same time. But yet there's a whole, um, like, four screen, your phone, the length of your phone, what mine, I don't have a damn ruler. What is an iPhone, like 6 inches long, 5 inches long? Four scrolls of that is missing between one part of it. Where's all those? I mean, like, why are you only giving parts of the story? Is that to cause a problem, to incite something, to why? For what? And then lied about it. Lied. Like, I'm not lying when I say to Abby that I did not feel, see, and especially now let's go back. This was October. Mind you, I'm in the middle at the height of what's all happening to my mental health, as I did in my video coming back. This is what happened. This is where I've been. This is what's going on. This is happening on top of that while I'm already, and I have told this to several people who have come to me back then in October, and I lost my ish on euphoria in this moment and at a point in time. But and I'm still, it's been, if you know anything about court cases, they get postponed, delayed, and they just keep going forever when they shouldn't. And I am working a case with a young girl who was raped by her father. If that's not stressful enough for real life, I don't know what, you're not in my headspace. You're not my kind of people if that doesn't mess with you and make you think that this YouTube stuff is just stupid crap, when there's real stuff going on in this world that you can invest your time to help somebody, or anything, real stuff, real stuff. In the meantime of all of this, I had multiple relatives die. My mother-in-law died. Um, there was so much real life to live for, things to live for, and I chose I didn't want to live anymore. I'm sorry about that, but that's just where it came to be. And this is all happening at the same time. And I am no accomplice to anybody. And I have no reason to lie to anybody from that day to this day. I just don't. You are not my friends, the people that are, being discussed, but I do have a level of respect and loyalty, and I don't know, but obviously nobody else does. So we'll just move on with that. But why you made up with Anne? Then 2 days later, someone says that they have this. Oh, you need to know here. You need to know this is happening. Well, first of all, that's not exactly what happened. The words you hear are the words you hear. Essentially, it's the same thing you've heard Anne say on her streams, out of her own mouth. I've heard it live, not live, recorded, whatever, Anne's videos. I've heard it from my own ears, what I'm trying to say. Come out of her mouth, the same exact things. And until someone's hurt is validated, same with Abby, until someone is willing to move on, until it stops coming back. I think that's like with my name being tagged, with my name being mentioned in those streams, until the wound heals and people stop coming back to you and ripping it back open again. So everyone here needs therapy. Anne says she's in therapy. I'm hoping that Abby's doing great things outside of YouTube, and then I hope she continues to move on in that direction, and wish her greatest success in her personal life. And but to then come back and drag Anne's YouTube for what? For what? Are you still being affected by that call to CPS today? I mean, mentally, yes, 100%. But are they still in your life? Is it still an actual issue? I would hope that people would just move on. That's my hope. Even with my situation, with your situation, with their situation. But I'm the lady from the group chat. I'm, being talked about. I don't understand why. I still, 100% stand on. I don't think she was talking crap on you. I think you're missing the context of the scenario, but the words you showed me and the words that were said, and I can go back to the group chat and they are there, would personally hit a certain spot. And I 100% validate your feelings on that. But I think you need to go and ask the person who gave it to you, why did you hurt me? Why'd you take this brick and throw it at my head? Why? Why did you hurt me like this? Then go to the person who recorded it while they're recording only what they want you to see. And they're recording while they're filming. And then if Anne feels set up, because somebody shared that with her months ago, I had no idea. But if you're feeling this way, and you're participating in this chat, but see, when I go back and read it, Melissa didn't feel that way. Melissa was like, not on the, oh, this is bad for you to talk about Abby, because Melissa was participating in that chat. Listen, the accomplices here is Melissa. So we're just gonna like excuse that. So when I went to Melissa and said, did you do this back then? She said, she never admitted to this day that she did it. She still has, she denied it. First and foremost, it was no, nope, didn't happen. Now today it's like, well, I'm sorry, when that she bowed out and said she was crying and said her mental health. Well, because of what I was going through, I accepted that 100%, her answer, my mental health, and bowed her out of I didn't. But while this is 6 months later, a lot of healing has happened, a lot of moving forward. People are still trying to heal. All this is going on. This is the stupidest thing I don't understand. I will never understand, because this is not my real life. Grown ass women trying to hurt other women. Why? If you're only going to come to YouTube to make horrible videos, call people out, and then slip off to your real life, well, you dragged your friend, Steph. You dragged your friend. You dragged Melissa. Melissa, are you just going to sit here and be like, oh no, it's okay, Steph can do this to me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Why did Steph do this to you? I know you gave that to, I don't know. I don't know why you gave that to Steph. My assumption, because of your participation in that chat and what I can, go back and it's all right there. You participated, accomplished in that chat. So if the whole chat is released and the true story comes out of the moment in time, that it's not what was clipped and sent to Abby, why did Steph do that to you? So somebody here is doing something nefarious. Somebody. And it's not the group chat. It's not the people that were in the group chat. You ruined something for your own gain and drug Melissa by the hair across all the YouTube streets. So now I question, let's go back to the Sarah thing. Melissa, did you release stuff about Sarah to anybody? See, you're going to tell me no, and you're going to cry about your mental health. And I am very aware that your mental health is important. But at the minute that this was all happening was my worst moments in life, from what was happening in real life and what was happening in YouTube world and everything else. And you said no. You lied to me. So to this day, I don't trust anything you've done or said or who might have gotten something from you. I stood up for you and I can no longer stand up for any of these people. I just can't. So I'm going to move on. I suggest everybody else does, but some apologies may need to be said just as loud as the drags were for YouTube. Because until somebody feels validated for what happened to them, just like I started this stream, I'm sorry if you felt threatened. No, you threatened me. Get it straight. You threatened me. So until someone's validated, they don't really heal. They might be able to move on, but when somebody comes back and like shares a clip from a thing and then gasses you up for 6 months for you to come out and say something about it because she's over here not mentioning any names or saying anything, and it could kind of relate to you. So then we're going to just stir that pot a little more and bring it back out. And this is stupid. This is so stupid. I'm not going to participate. I'm just not. I was there. It didn't happen the way that it comes off that it happened. The people who participated all the way. I went like, oh, I can't stand for this. I gotta go. No, they were kicked because of their lies and deception. And why would you hurt somebody else? For what reason? And back to JJ, that that other group chat, you might want to, some of these names I've mentioned might have been in that group chat. So you're pointing the fingers in the wrong fucking direction. Have a great day, everyone. Tomorrow's my birthday. I didn't want to drag this into another year of my life, but here we go. I'm trying to dead it today for myself, but just in case, I had to get my side out. I had to clear my brain. I had to get this over with, rip the bandaid off. It's not to hurt anybody, but grow the fuck up and move on.